Malik Thompson. You're a Tulsa born, Booker T. Washington High School graduate, and an MMA fighter who recently won the XFN 407 BJJ championship.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for joining the
Man,
podcast.
Dion, I appreciate you for having me, man. I am very grateful, extremely grateful.
Hey, the feeling is mutual. So, how are you feeling coming off of that win, first of all?
Elated. I'm grateful that I didn't get hurt. I'm grateful I got to finish. Another belt is always nice, you know. And then, I mean, just outside of that, man, really just staying healthy. You know, we never know how we are gonna come out of these fights.
Mhm.
So, I mean, even grappling matches, somebody can snag a leg and twist you up bad. Like there's so many things that can happen that are out of your control. So, it's always a great feeling to know like I got the win. I still look good, feel good. Like I'm all right, came out of it. And then I'm just ready for the next one. So that's always a good feeling, for sure.
So, describe for people who are just learning about you, describe what happened at that fight. What division it was, what was going through your mind leading up to it, because you weren't originally going to be grappling,
Right.
but your original opponent, had canceled. Talk about what happened.
So yeah, I'll clarify a couple things. The original opponent I had, so that was the guy. They
Okay.
said that he had some health issues that wasn't going to allow him to fight in the state of Oklahoma. I didn't know what that was. I felt like it'd be a HIPAA violation for me to really even know. So I didn't
Mhm.
even ask too much. I just said, "Am I in danger?" They were like, "No." I was like, "All right, well then, cool."
Mhm.
So they called me. So I'll answer your question kind of in order. My mindset leading up to it, you know, it was supposed to be the pro debut, a pro MMA debut. I've been at this since just before COVID. You know, I've been working hard. You know, I've had injuries, all that stuff. So it's kind of an anticipation, a build up. You know, I'm working at it every day, and I fought Friday night,
Mhm.
February 20th. They called me that Wednesday night, and my coach called me at like 10 p.m. It's never a good call when you're that close to a fight.
Mm.
Like a late night call from your coach is always like something happened, or else he would have left me alone. So
Right.
they let me know, like he was like, "Hey man, promotion told me guys having some health issues. Do you want to grapple?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Okay, well your other option is to not do anything." I was like, "They ain't got no replacement. Like, there's nothing." I'm like, "Nah, you're either gonna grapple or wait to the next one." So I did it. I grappled. Went in there kind of with the same mindset. It's still a fight.
Mhm.
Somebody's still trying to come in here and take what's mine or take what God gave me, and can't let that happen. He gave it to me, not you.
Hmm.
So I went in there and handled business. I mean, I was aggressive from the start. Just wanted to set the tone, I guess. You know, I had watched film on him, and he was an extremely aggressive grappler when it came to the grappling. He was primarily a striker, but when I saw him grapple, he
Mhm.
bullied guys. Like, I was like, no, not me.
Hmm.
Like, I refuse. So I was just like, I'm just going to bring the fight to you. That way you're on the back foot. You can't be aggressive if you're having to defend the whole time. So made him defend for all of 7 minutes, got my finish, got my belt, got up out of there. It was a good day.
Went to work and went home.
Yeah, yeah. It was a good day for sure.
Man, I mean, you put the town on your back, and it seems like you do that in everything you do.
Yeah,
You have a little kid, you have a fiance, you're a family man,
yeah.
and you're building your career in MMA. Um, how and why did you get into fighting?
Man, truthfully, I was just an overweight kid at Southern.
Really?
Like, yeah, yeah. I was like, what? I'm 18. No, I'm like 19 now. I'm a sophomore at Southern out in Baton Rouge, and I'm like almost 210, at the same height, by the way.
Mm.
Almost like 210. Just not happy. In the house all day, playing the game all day in the dark, hardly going to class, like just unhappy with how I was going about life. You
Mm.
know, I think when we're 18 and we're coming out of high school, we got all these big goals, dreams, expectations. None of them I met. Like, I didn't go to the NFL like I thought I was going. I didn't get the full ride to Oregon like I thought I was gonna get. Now I got some great experiences. I went to Tuskegee University for my first year, and then Southern for my second year. I didn't actually end up finishing college. That's like one of my in my back of my head. I'm like, I gotta go at least get an associate's or something. But I was at Southern, unhappy, and then I found this boxing gym. Was going in there, just it just gave me something. I felt good. I was training. I was kind of getting back in shape. Then they had wrestling classes. So then I was like, I'll try wrestling a little
Mhm.
bit. So now I'm boxing, wrestling, and I'm like, man, I like this. So then I came back home, found a jujitsu gym, and then once I stepped on that mat, it was wraps.
Mm.
I have not left since, and that was in uh, early 2019,
Wow.
and yeah,
And
now we're
it's
here.
been history. So, you had asked me how I got into journalism,
Yeah,
and it's wild that you weren't expecting to get into jujitsu
no,
or this.
not at all.
And that's kind of how it was for me in the sense that, I was going the uh, medical route. Like I thought, I wanted to get into medicine, doctor or nurse or something like that. I got to college and I looked through a microscope and none of
Mhm.
that impressed me.
All
Like
right.
I don't care what's going on down there. I care what's going on out here
Yeah.
and how the decisions that people are making is impacting us. But long story short, I was a student on campus at OU in Norman, and I just was like, I experienced more racism than I had experienced anywhere else.
Man.
Like at one time, I mean, they would put. I was the only black kid on my dorm floor.
Yeah.
It was me, and there was like a Jewish kid who everyone would pick on. So like they would like put trash outside our doors, racial slurs like on our doors, um, and things like that. I didn't know how to advocate for myself back then, and
Right.
and so I thought that as a man, you're supposed to just just take it and move on, but it was when this national outrage happened. I don't know if you remember, but there was a fraternity, SAE, that had said they got
Them
caught
dudes on the
on.
bus.
Yes, they got caught
Yeah.
on the dudes on the bus got
I was
caught.
literally playing that in my mind when you were talking.
Man, so that changed everything for me because I just picked up a camera and started documenting the protests that were happening. Black Student Association was doing all these events, marching,
Wow.
and one thing led to another. I realized there's power in the media.
Oh yeah.
There's power, good ways and bad ways.
Right.
Like the way the corporate media has us tries to control the narrative, and kind of filter reality through what it wants us to understand. And then there's the good way of how you can use the media to amplify people's stories
And tell the truth.
and tell the truth.
Yeah.
And so ever since then, I got into journalism and video production, and I started doing activist stuff. And one thing led to another. I ended up, just becoming a journalist. But like that activism lens has always stayed with me. Um, and now I try and use that to help amplify other people's stories because I realized, you know, we all have roles to play.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Some people are supposed to be out front leading, and some people are supposed to, be supporters.
Yeah.
And I found my role as a supporter, and so that's I stay in my role and do what I can to amplify people. You know.
I would say in a lot of ways you're leading as well. Because there's not too many people willing to use the platform that they have to speak out against injustice. There are platforms specifically for that, but when somebody has a platform that can be used for anything,
Mm.
when I went back, I was just like anything else. I went back, I looked at some film. I was like, okay, so like, what type of people is he interviewing? Like, who does he talk to? First two people I seen, Mayor Nichols and Dr. Crutcher. I was like, oh, okay, like real, like
You gotta put the big ones at the top. You
yeah,
gotta,
yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I see. So, it just lets me know one, like where your focus is, and then two, what type of impact you plan on having with your voice. And I respect that, Dion. I really appreciate just even being given this opportunity,
Mhm.
given the type of people that you have interviewed in the past. So I look at that and I'm just like, man, it's just an opportunity to just go out there, be yourself, and then just say what matters, say what's important.
Absolutely. And I feel like you have important things to say. Like your story by itself is important because, and put some respect on your name too. I appreciate that. But I feel like some of the most impactful interviews I've done have been with people who maybe didn't have a title behind their name, but they themselves were making an impact.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to your story as an MMA fighter, what impact do you want to leave behind, whether it's for, your kid or the next Malik Thompsons that are set to graduate from high school?
Impact. Keeping God first.
Mm,
I think that that's been the most important aspect of my life. So that's what I would want at the very forefront of anything. If he gives me world titles, cool. If he makes me, um, there can be no next Coach Reed. But
mm,
if he can make me a Coach Reed of the community, cool. Whatever he has this gift, whatever he put this gift in me for, um, just utilize it to the fullest. And then, he knows the desires of my heart. I want to become a world champion.
mm.
I say that loudly, proudly, and boldly because I know that um, shying away only pushes it away. I'm not shying away from what I seek, and I'm not quiet about it, and I'm not necessarily arrogant about it because, like I said, if he doesn't give it to me, I'm still faithful to him. So I just think keeping God first, and then just keeping the main thing. I know that when it comes to MMA now, it's also a media game.
Mm.
I post every single day, and
Got to.
but I do it because at this point in my career, I'm not at the world stage just yet.
Mhm.
But until then, you got to get your name out there. People got to know, who is Malik Thompson. And this is just one of the ways to kind of express that. Like, who is Malik Thompson? What does he care about? What is he like? What does he not like? What does he drink? Matchas.
Alright.
Um, it's I would say that the main impact though would just be to keep God first.
Mhm.
Keep God first. Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added on to you. So whatever the desires of your heart, if they come from God, He's gonna give them to you if you stay with Him.
Mm.
Stay with
That's
the man that brought you to the dance.
okay, that's a whole word. That's a whole word, and, religion is tough for a lot of people. Even people who practice, whether it's Christianity or
Yeah,
a different religion, the things that the world throws at you can definitely challenge you sometimes.
for sure.
I grew up like I was in the church while I was still in my mom's womb.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Christian, and there's just been so many things that have challenged my faith. Um, but there's also been so many things that have reconfirmed my faith
yeah.
because I definitely wouldn't be here without
Boy, that's a whole nother. That could be a whole nother pod, man. That could be a whole nother pod. But it's just it's a beautiful thing what he's done in my life and in the lives of the people around me. And when you brought up my son and just what I would want to teach him is
it.
just keep the faith. Like stuff's gonna get hard. I was just telling you kind of about the whole little sinus and little
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, that's a minute problem as far as life goes, but when we look at it, it show health. Ultimately, health gets stripped away so fast from anything for anything, and it's just like even being thankful for little stuff like that, or you know, I I was fit because I was telling you last October I also had a grappling match because my fight fell out.
Mhm.
And I was looking at these situations kind of frustrated, like genuinely frustrated. Like I don't want to say like why me, but kind of,
Yeah.
just being real. Like I'm like, why me? Like what did I do that I can't go out there and perform
Yeah.
that I can't showcase God what you've been having me work on for 4 to 6 hours a day. But then it turned into like a man, just be grateful that you're not getting hurt, man. You ain't got no headaches, no black eyes, no broken bones. You still getting to go out here, make some money, put on a show, come out to the lights. You still getting finishes. You adding belts to your resume. Like things are still happening. And if you look at that part of it instead of looking at what you're not getting,
Mm.
it's just all mindset, I guess you would say. And I definitely appreciate the fact that I've been able to shift my mind frame. And I think that God has been an important part of that because the more grateful I am, the less I complain, you
Mm.
know. And complaining don't do nothing anyway. It don't change nothing and it don't help nothing. So
Just wasted energy.
literally. So that's been the biggest impact God has had on my life is my mind.
And a friend of mine's been getting me to follow Motiversity on
Yeah,
YouTube. I don't know
yeah,
if okay.
absolutely. I
It's
seen them.
nothing but motivational videos. I've been starting my days with them, and it's been a huge help. Um, I heard you mention 4 to 6 hours of training.
Yeah.
Is that daily?
At least like 6 days a week. Yeah,
Yeah, I would consider
6.
that daily.
Yeah. Well, my nutritionist told me it is clinically unhealthy to train 7 days a week. He was like, "Yeah, don't do that." I was like, "Okay."
I'll take one day off.
Yeah, I was like, "Okay." So, like, what
Mhm.
day? He was like, "Pick one. Just that day, you like hang out with your family and play the game and chill. You can take an ice bath. You can go stretch. You
Give your
know,
body some time
do
to
some
recover.
yoga and stuff, but that 7 day a week stuff, that grind, you'll be done by 33 if you do that." So
Mm.
okay. All right. So now it's 6 days. You know, if I'm like injured or something, it might be 5 days. But I mean, outside of that, yeah, like a light day is a couple hours and a heavy day is like 6.
Wow. So what are you doing in that while you're training?
So, I spend a little bit of time each day on strength and conditioning. I just feel it's what's gonna keep my body going.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say there's probably the main bulk of that is like medium intensity technique,
Okay.
just refining technique because I feel like I'm still at the stage where I need my technique to be. I mean, there's no such thing as perfect, but no fat on it. You know, like I want it to be just the cleanest.
Lean.
Yeah, just the cleanest technique that you can be, almost effortless. You know, if what they say like 10,000 times, like 10,000 reps is mastery. If the quickest I can get to 10,000, so that's like what the bulk of my day is, whether it's um, a striking combination or just a takedown, like we was talking about earlier, whether it's single leg, double leg, whatever. Um, and then I would say like an hour to an hour and a half of like pretty intense, like the free rolls or sparring or maybe just a really hard cardio drill. And that would be like max an hour of the day. Just so I'm not burning my central nervous system, burning my body down. But the bulk of my day is just technique.
Man.
It's just literally just doing it over and over and over and over until I've hit whatever number it is.
You know, we were talking earlier about how I have a buddy in Norman
Yeah.
who trains at JWF. Shout out to James White Fitness.
Oh yeah, that's my boy. Shout out James White,
Oh, you
man.
know James White Fitness?
Yeah,
Okay,
yes sir,
bet.
yes sir.
Sweet. Yeah. He's a dope dude. I feel really bad because he's been so kind and patient about trying to get me to come out there and train. Um, the thing is, man, I've never been an athlete. Like I have done sports,
Yeah.
but they didn't like me. The sports didn't like me. You know what I mean?
Sports didn't agree.
But also, I never did what you just described. I never put the time in and day out to get better.
Right.
But I did go to JWF a couple times just to practice. And like I told you, it was the most intense workout I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
Especially the 5 minute of rolling, just free rolling. I'm like, save me, somebody, because
Nope, just you.
because like you gotta stay in there for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't just say like, hold up, y'all, I'm 3 minutes, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta hang in there, especially when you're like in the octagon, or in the ring or whatever. But it was also the most rewarding feeling, one of the most rewarding feelings I've ever had, because like I did a successful double leg,
Yes, sir.
and my friends filmed me, and so I got to watch myself back, and it's almost like you're rewiring your brain because like you don't see yourself as that,
Yeah.
and so you don't believe you can be that, but then you literally see on screen that you are capable of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just with a little bit of training, and so what is your advice for people who maybe want to change their life? Maybe they don't like what they see in the mirror, or they don't like the results they're getting out of their life right now, and they want to do something that's going to really challenge them? What's your advice to people starting out in MMA?
So my advice to people starting out in MMA, or because I want to make sure I answer the question correctly. So my advice to people starting out in MMA, or maybe just wanting to change their life in general in a specific
MMA first.
MMA first.
Yeah.
Okay. So one for MMA, I would clarify your goal, because my goal is to become a world champion. Not everybody's goal is to become a world champion, and that's perfectly fine. If your goal is to get in shape, if your goal is to learn how to defend yourself, you just want to walk around more confidently, cool. Whatever that goal is, clarify that, because that will then determine what your workload looks like and what the expectations are. If I was not trying to become a world champion, I would not train this much. Like, I'm in shape. I feel good about how I look.
You could just stop there.
I could walk. Yeah, I could walk around, defend myself, and I feel confident walking around with my family. I would maybe do it 3 days a week, 2 days a week, and then I would go hit the gym and get a little pump, some, you know what I'm saying, a little muscle. But like outside of that, I would that's what I would say. It's just clarify your goal.
Yeah.
From the beginning. From the beginning, I've been calling myself a world champion. I tell myself every single morning that I am a world champion. Do I have a world title yet? No. But I feel in my soul and I feel in my spirit that that's what I am. So I move like it. I eat like it. I sleep like it. I train like it. I think like it. I talk like it. I don't allow myself to be in a mind frame. Now, I'm a human. The flesh lies to us all the time, and Satan lies to us all the time. So the flesh can feel weak, but God is strong, and I lean on Him, and that gives me that, like, I know I can become a world champion. And then when it comes to life, just talk to yourself better. Like, be nice to yourself. I think that they said what? I don't know how many thoughts, so don't have me lying on this pod, but it's some 5-digit number of thoughts that we have every single day. The majority of them are negative, and the majority of them are not ours. So I think that it's important to have your thoughts go through a filter system. You know, if you are feeling really negative about yourself, you immediately got to trash those, immediately kick those out, because the longer you let it settle in and marinate, your brain don't know the difference between real and fake. Whatever we tell it is real.
That's a word.
Whatever we tell it is real. So, like, why not tell yourself, I feel good. Like, I look good. Like, yeah, like my skin is nice and I'm happy. Like, I'm at peace. I'm joyful. I'm knowledgeable. I'm wise. I'm discerning. I mean, why not tell yourself that? Even if you don't feel like that day. I've definitely woken up days where I don't feel like saying my mantra, but I'm going to say it, because by the end of it, I'm going to feel one of these words, you know? If it ain't all of them, it's a few of them. And if it's all of them, then that's a great day. But most of the time, it's not. Most of the time, it's whichever one I'm not feeling. If I don't feel at peace that day, maybe I didn't get good sleep or whatever the case may be. When I get over that peaceful word, I'm going to have some hesitancy, but I'm going to say it, because by the time I'm done saying it, I now identify with that. And that's my identity. Like you said, the rewiring of the brain. Every time we tell ourselves something, it's a rewiring, where those are more synapses, more cells. We're telling ourselves, like, man, I am this. Not, oh, I want to be, or I'm going to try. Like, nah, I am. So, if anybody is out there and y'all want to pursue something larger than what you've been expected, like larger than what's been expected of you, maybe you haven't seen it done in your environment, in your community, in your family, tell yourself, like, first of all, tell yourself you can, because whether you tell yourself you can or whether you tell yourself you can't, you're right. So, like, why not go towards the positive? If I'm not saying we decide, because God ultimately is His will, but we are the ones to make the decisions, right? So why not decide better for yourself? Whether that's getting in shape, you know, picking up a language, whatever.
That's so real. And like so clarify your goal when it comes to MMA,
Yeah.
but then talk to yourself more nicely when it comes to just navigating life.
Life. Yeah.
Uh that's real, and I feel that, for me, it's definitely something I work on. And one of the reasons that my friend introduced me to Motiversity on YouTube, just a bunch of a collection of motivational videos from different people.
Right.
Because those first 30 minutes in the morning for me dictate my day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even last week I had a day where uh everything, one thing from another, was just falling into place. And I'm like, okay, boom, boom, boom. I'm getting email notifications about things I, was trying to achieve, and getting the feedback from that's
Yeah.
positive. Um, and there was another day where, I started out talking to myself harshly, letting those thoughts, listening to those thoughts, and I took that mentality into my day, and it was the opposite. I didn't have a good day. Um, but it's so powerful, and I feel like that's so understood, so understood. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
saying?
Nah,
Like
I feel, yeah.
like we say it, we hear people talk about it, we hear motivational speakers mention it, but really, I don't think enough of us understand how powerful our own minds are in creating our own reality. And I'll just give one example of when I first realized that power was back in Norman when I was doing my activism stuff in college. There was this it was back when we were all having to be activists, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people across the country, in Oklahoma, were changing names of street signs and things like that.
Yeah.
In Tulsa, they changed,
Cincinnati to MLK.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And even Reconciliation Way. In Norman, there was a street named after a KKK Grand Wizard, and since the '80s, they had been like every few years they organized about it, but nothing was done. And uh, that year, it just was meant to be. We had
Mm-hmm.
the right things in place. We had the right people who were wanting to organize. And every day, I would wake up and say that name is going to change.
Yeah.
Like, I would go to city council meetings, and we'd have different speakers speaking at the public comment. City council not listening to us. Wake up the next day, that name is going to change. We organize an event at a library and get maybe 5, 10 people to come, but still, I would say that name is going to change.
Right.
8 months after we launched that like activism campaign, they had no choice but to change the name,
Yeah.
because we had made it so intolerable for them to keep that name. Um, and so I say all that to say, like, there are examples you can find in your own life of, you know, using your mind to create the reality you want to see, and talking to yourself in a way that nourishes you,
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
when I have those bad days now, I try to lean on those examples to remind myself. Now, I don't have a mantra, and so I'm curious, like, how did you come up with your mantra?
Um, man, it's been over the work of several years. It started off. It started off very. Um, so I'll just tell you the beginning of how it used to start. Is I am amazing. I can do amazing things, and nobody and nothing can stop me. Well, that's good. I think that it takes God out of the equation a bit.
Hmm.
And as my faith grew more, I grew less into my own power, and it grew more into what he can do for me. Now, when I get into the I am part of the mantra, that's just so I can identify with that. It's not saying that I'm this, whether God says so or not. It's like, no, these are things that God put on earth, peace, love, gentleness, kindness, humility, self control. These are all things He put within us already. We just have to remember and identify with that. So these are things that I bring about in my mantra. Um,
Fruits of the spirit.
yeah, literally. and it has allowed me to get through those bad days,
Mhm.
see through the lens that I want to see through, even when the day is giving me yuck. Like even when it's not such a great day, I'm still looking at it through a better perspective. Like you said, through the activist lens earlier, we can either see it through a positive lens, like we can see these situations through a positive lens, or we can see them through a negative lens.
Yeah.
And man, I keep going back to these fights because these have been, one, it's my career, but two, these have been the biggest testimonies of what God can do when you are looking through a positive lens.
Mhm.
And I think that just over the years, I have been more faith based as far as my mantra, but then also just really just identifying with who I want to be, not necessarily saying like, oh, I'm a millionaire, oh, I'm this, I'm that, because God can say, nah, you'll never be a millionaire, but you'll have the impact of a billionaire. You can have the impact or the access of a Bill Gates or something, and you never touch that amount, and that's okay, and that's cool. It's more about what you do for others anyway. So that just is really just a testament to His power and the power of the tongue, really,
Mm.
more than anything.
I wasn't expecting us to go to church today, but I'm
Man,
feeling like an amen.
man, he God does so much for me. I can't help but to just give him credit for everything. For real.
I feel it, and I'm sure you're bringing God into your next fight,
Yeah.
which is going to be on April 3rd.
April 3rd, LFA, Shawnee, Oklahoma. I'm not sure when this will air, but if you need tickets, get at me. If you need tickets, get at me. Yeah, we making our pro debut for LFA. Fighting a Frenchman. His name is Alpha Mansare.
Okay.
My bad if I'm pronouncing that wrong, bro. But we gonna have fun April 3rd, man. We get to showcase everything that we've been working on.
So will this be grappling, or
No, it's
this one will just be
Lord
grappling?
willing, is MMA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully this is MMA.
So you ready to show everything you got?
Everything.
Man. Where can they find you? Where can they connect with you to get those tickets?
So you can find me on social media at Thompson MMA or just my full name, Malik Thompson. If you want the email, thompsoncombat@gmail.com. But these are the main ways that you can contact me to get your tickets. And then I do believe that you can also purchase tickets online and give me like a ticket credit. Like I think that they do like some sort of ticket credit.
Like mention the name of who you're supporting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't, definitely hit me up personally because I do make a commission off of that. We trying to get the front end and the back end.
Right.
So yeah, just hit me up and I'll get you squared away, man. I'll take care of you.
Especially, Tulsans, like we gotta support our own. I'm not a native Tulsan. I was born in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I grew up in Lawton. And so I moved to Tulsa after school. But, the community has adopted me, I feel like. And so I try and give back by amplifying native Tulsans like yourself.
Yeah, man. That's
you
what's
know?
up.
So Malik Thompson, MMA fighter, future world champion. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much. Thank you for joining In Depth with Dion. I appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you for having me, man. Thank y'all.
Absolutely.